Jai Hind friends, welcome to Kalyani IAS Academy. In this lecture we will study basic principles of biology. Now start the lecture and understand. For basic principle of biology, we have to study the structural and functional unit of organisms, that is cells, right? Cell. Second, the cluster of cells, that is tissue, then organ and organ systems of humans as well as organisms, right? Then heredity and evolution. Among these topics we have studied the cytology, or we can say that we have studied the structural and functional unit of life, that is cell, in detail, right? Then we have studied about human tissues or animal tissues, we have studied about different organs of human body, we have studied the different organ systems of human body. Along with these topics, we have also studied what is nutrition, right? What is nutrition, right? What is a balanced diet? What are nutrients? What are different nutrients? So we have studied these topics in depth, right? Now the remaining topic are heredity and evolution, right? So in this lecture we will study heredity as well as evolution, and if we study these topics, then you have studied the biology subject in depth for MPPSC prelims examination. And remember, these topics will also help you in the mains examination, right? Because there is a unit 3, right? There is a paper 3 and there is the unit 3 of paper 3 is the biology, right, which contains 30 marks. So right, so the topics we covered in the prelims as well as help you in the mains examination as well, right? So now we will study the remaining topics, right, which are heredity and evolution, right? So now start the lecture and understand what is heredity. See, the transfer of traits from one generation to the next generation is termed as heredity, right? And genes are the functional unit of the heredity that transfer characteristics from parents to offspring, right? Now I will make you understand on the basis of previous knowledge, right? When we studied the cell, at that time I told you that, right, the nucleus, right, there is a spherical structure which is found inside the cell is known as nucleus, right? And nucleus, there is a chromatin wave, right? Chromatin, right? There is a chromatin wave which is found in the nucleus, right? Or we can say that nucleoplasm. So we have studied the cell, and cell is the structural and functional unit of the organisms, right? And there is a spherical structure or spherical organelle which is nucleus, and nucleus is the largest organelle of the cell. Also, nucleus controls the functioning of the cell, and nucleus contains chromatin wave, right? Chromatin, what is chromatin wave? See, a thread-like, right? A thin and thread-like structure are found in the nucleoplasm. This is known as chromatin wave, right? And when there is a cell division, or we can say that during the cell division, these thick, right? These thin and thread-like structures are get converted into thin rod-like structure, right? Thick rod-like structure which is known as chromosome, right? Which is known as chromosome, right? So in the nucleus, a thin, right? In the nucleus, thin and thread-like structures are found which are known as chromatin wave, and during the cell division, this chromatin wave is get converted into thick rod-like structure known as chromosome, right? And every living organism have definite number or certain number of chromosome. For an example, we have seen humans, right? So humans has, right, humans have 46 chromosomes, or we can say that humans have 23 pairs of chromosome, right? 23 pairs of chromosomes, or humans have 46 chromosomes, right? These chromosomes consist of DNA, right? DNA which is 40% plus का histone protein 60%. So we can say that chromosomes are responsible for the transferring, right, for transferring the genetic information from one generation to the next generation, right? And chromosome contains, right, yeah, chromosomes are consist of DNA, that is 40%, and histone protein 16%. And we have studied about the DNA in detail, right? And the structural unit of DNA is a gene, right? And gene is the structural or functional unit of the DNA. In the way we can say that gene is responsible for transferring a particular trait from generation to the next generation. Therefore, genes are the functional unit of the heredity that transfer characteristics from one parent to the offspring. Right? Now I would like to make you understand how is this possible. See, in the previous lecture we have also understood the reproductive system, right? And what is the reproductive system? See, when in humans the sexual reproduction is found, right? In humans sexual reproduction is found, right? And sexual reproduction, what is the characteristics of sexual reproduction? See, the reproduction system in which gametes are formed and gametes are fused to a zygote is known as sexual reproduction. And in sexual reproduction both or two parents are involved, right? And gametes are produced, later gametes are fused to a zygote, is known as sexual reproduction, and this process happens in humans. So simply this is male and this is female. What is the first process? The gamete formation, right? So for sexual reproduction, at first gametes are produced in male as well as in female. You know that the testes, right? Testes are the primary reproductive organs of the male, and ovaries, right? Ovaries are the primary reproductive organs of the females, right? Here the gametes, male gametes, or we know as sperm, right? Male gametes or sperms are produced by testes, and female gametes are produced by ovaries, or we can say that female gametes as a eggs or ovum. Single egg is known as ovum, right? When these sperms, right, and these eggs, right, these sperms and these eggs, the fusion occurs in fallopian tube, or we can say that oviduct, right? सो सी, जो मेल का पेनिस है, मेल के पेनिस के द्वारा फीमेल की वेजिना में जो है मेल गेमेट या स्पर्म्स जो है छोड़े जाते हैं, और उसी तरीके से जो एग्स हैं वो ओवेरीज से एग्स जो है वो ओवेरीज से क्या होते हैं, निकलकर फेलोपियन ट्यूब में आते हैं, जिसको हम क्या कहते हैं, ओव्यूलेशन कहा जाता है. एंड व्हेन देयर इज अ फ्यूजन ऑफ मेल gamete, that is sperm, and female gamete, that is egg, right, the zygote is formed, and later this zygote is get converted into embryo, and later जो है embryonic development occur होता है, और उसकी वजह से ही फिर जब gestation period complete हो जाता है तो उसके बाद में बच्चे का क्या होता है, birth होता है. Now we know that here कि जो male और female है, right, the male gametes, that is sperms, और female gametes eggs are produced by testes और ovaries, right? और ये प्रोसेस किसकी वजह से या किस सेल डिवीजन से होता है, तो ये मियोसिस की वजह से होता है. किसकी वजह से? मियोसिस की वजह से होता है. और द सेल डिवीजन विच अकर्स इन germ cells, or we can say that reproductive cell is known as meiosis. meiosis में क्या होता है? meiosis में जो एक सिंगल सेल होती है, वो सिंगल सेल कितने में? 4 सेल में क्या हो जाती है? कन्वर्ट हो जाती है. सो अ सिंगल सेल इज डिवाइडेड इन 4 cells, right? A single cell is divided into 4 cells, but इसमें हैप्लॉइड, राइट? हैप्लॉइड क्या होते हैं? गैमेट बनते हैं. हैप्लॉइड गैमेट का मतलब क्या हुआ कि इसमें जो क्रोमोसोम्स 46 होते हैं वो कितने बचते हैं? 23, राइट? मतलब आधे पेयर बचते हैं, राइट? सो इन मियोसिस haploid gamete, which means that half chromosomes are right? So in meiosis जो हैप्लॉइड गेमेट है वो फॉर्म होते हैं, विच मीन्स दैट जो डॉटर सेल्स होती हैं उनमें क्रोमोसोम्स कितने बचते हैं? हाफ बचते हैं, राइट? उसी तरीके से जो फीमेल गैमेट या ओवम होते हैं इनमें भी कितने? 23 पेयर, राइट? 23 के 2 पेयर होने चाहिए, तो उसमें से केवल और केवल 23 का एक पेयर ही बचता है, अर्थात जो क्रोमोसोम्स के नंबर ऑफ द क्रोमोसोम्स हैं वो कितने हो जाते हैं? हाफ हो जाते हैं. लेटर जब इन दोनों का फ्यूजन होता है, 23 क्रोमोसोम्स ऑफ मेल और 23 क्रोमोसोम्स ऑफ फीमेल, जब 23 और 23 मिलते हैं तब जाकर जाइगोट्स में क्रोमोसोम्स की संख्या कितनी होती है? 46 होती है, और इस तरीके से जाइगोट बनता है, और जाइगोट से ही जो ऑफ स्प्रिंग है उसका क्या होता है? बर्थ होता है. देयरफॉर जो ऑफ स्प्रिंग होता है उसमें जो है फादर की जेनेटिक कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स, फादर के जेनेटिक कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स भी होते हैं, और मदर के क्या होते हैं? जेनेटिक कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स भी होते हैं, राइट? और इसी वजह से जो चाइल्ड है, ये जो ऑफ स्प्रिंग है, राइट? ऑफ स्प्रिंग हैज बोथ द जेनेटिक कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ मेल एज वेल एज फीमेल, और फादर और मदर. Therefore, this offspring may have different characteristics than his parents. और उसी की वजह से ही जब लेटर ये जो है पैटर्न चलता रहता है, तो उसी की वजह से ही क्या होती है? देयर इज अ डाइवर्सिटी इन स्पेसीज, राइट? उसी की वजह से क्या होता है? इवोल्यूशन होता है, एंड उसी की वजह से क्या होती है? डाइवर्सिटीज आती है. सो दिस इज द होल प्रोसेस. अब ये प्रोसेस मैंने आपको पहले ही बता दी है, so that you could relate this topic properly, because we will study heredity, right? In heredity these terms would occur many times, right? And जब हम evolution पढ़ेंगे तो वहां पर भी आपको यही चीजें समझनी है. So I hope you have understood. Now we will continue the heredity, right? So what is the heredity? We have understood. See, the transfer of traits from one generation to the next generation is termed as heredity. And genes are, right? Genes are the functional unit of heredity that transfer characteristics from parents to the offspring. Genes are the short stretches of DNA, and I have told you that the GNA is the functional unit of DNA, or we can say that genes are short stretches of DNA that code for a specific प्रोटीन और आरएनए. और जब ये एक स्पेसिफिक प्रोटीन के लिए क्या करती है? इसमें कोड होता है, इसीलिए सिंगल जीन इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर सिंगल कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स, राइट? फॉर एन एग्जाम्पल आपकी हाइट हो सकती है, राइट? द कलर ऑफ योर आईज, तो कलर ऑफ आईज, हाइट, राइट? ओबेसिटी, राइट? उसके बाद में जो है बॉडी स्ट्रक्चर है, तो वो सब किससे डिसाइड होता है? जीन की वजह से ही होता है. सो जीन्स आर शॉर्ट स्ट्रेचेस ऑफ डीएनए दैट कोड फॉर अ स्पेसिफिक प्रोटीन और आरएनए, और वी कैन से दैट अ सिंगल जीन इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर अ सिंगल जेनेटिक कैरेक्टरिस्टिक और ट्रेट. Genetics is the branch of biology that deals with the study of genes, heredity, right, and variations is known as genetics, right? So this may be asked in the examination, what is genetics? So genetics is the branch of biology that deals with the study of genes, heredity, and variations, right? Now we will focus on the most important topic, that is Mendel's work on inheritance. At first we will understand who was John Gregor Mendel, because many questions or many MCQs have been asked from this topic, and this slide is most important for you to remember, right? So Mendel is the most known most known scientific in the field of heredity, inheritance, or we know as genetics, right? So let's study about Gregor John Mendel, right? So Gregor John Mendel. So at first we will study some basic details regarding Gregor John Mendel. So Gregor John Mendel, known as father of genetics. This is the most important, you have to keep in your mind this fact, right? So Gregor John Mendel is the father of genetics, right? Was an Australian monk who worked on pea plant, right? And this question has been asked in the previous examination to understand the concept of heredity, right? So Gregor John Mendel, right? Gregor John Mendel, known as the father of genetics, was Australian monk who worked on pea plants to understand the concept of heredity, right? And Mendel's work laid the foundation of modern genetics, right? Gregor John Mendel provided three basic laws of inheritance, or we can say that heredity. So Gregor John Mendel provided three basic laws of inheritance. The first is the laws of dominance, second the law of segregation, the third is the law of independent assortment, right? The first is law of dominance, right? What is law of dominance? See, the law of dominance say that a gene has two contrasting alleles, right? A gene has two contrasting alleles and one always expresses itself in the organism and it is called the dominant gene, right? तो जो two contrasting alleles होते हैं, right? There are two contrasting alleles in a gene, or out of these two, one always expresses itself in the organism. Therefore, this allele is known as dominant gene and it expresses in any possible combination. Clear? Simply हम कह सकते हैं कि a child has genetic characteristics of both mother and father, right? But इन दोनों अलील्स में से कोई भी एक अलील ही क्या हो सकता है, जो है एक्सप्रेस कर सकता है. इसीलिए एक क्या होता है, डोमिनेंट जीन होता है और उसी से फिर वो जो है पूरी की पूरी बॉडी स्ट्रक्चर में इंपॉर्टेंट रोल प्ले करता है. सो दिस इज द फर्स्ट लॉ ऑफ मेंडल, राइट? सो द फर्स्ट लॉ ऑफ Gregor John Mendel is law of dominance, which is according to law of dominance, a gene has two contrasting alleles and one always expresses itself in the organism. It is known as dominant gene and it expresses in any possible combination. Second, law of segregation. Law of segregation says that traits get segregated completely during the formation of gametes, right, without any mixing of alleles, right? Which means that जो alleles होते हैं वो कभी भी गैमेट फॉर्मेशन के दौरान मिक्स नहीं होते हैं, राइट? इसीलिए तो एक जो अलील होता है, राइट, वो एक कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स के लिए क्या होता है, रिस्पॉन्सिबल होता है और इनका सेग्रेशन कब हो जाता है, राइट? गैमेट फॉर्मेशन के दौरान ही हो जाता है, राइट? सो वी कैन से दैट व्हेन द एग्स और स्पर्म्स आर प्रोड्यूस्ड बाय टेस्टिस और ओवीज, राइट, उसी समय पर जो एलील्स हैं उनका सेग्रेशन हो जाता है, right? So this is known as law of segregation. So law of segregation says that traits get segregated completely during the formation of gametes without any mixing of alleles. Third is law of independent assortment, right? According to this, the traits can be segregated independently of different characteristics during the gamete, right, formation, right? तो जो traits हैं वो इंडिपेंडेंट ऑफ डिफरेंट क्या होते हैं, कैरेक्टर्स होते हैं, राइट? सो द ट्रेट्स कैन सेग्रेट इंडिपेंडेंटली ऑफ डिफरेंट कैरेक्टर्स ड्यूरिंग द गैमेट फॉर्मेशन. तो जो एक ट्रेट होता है वो एक इंडिपेंडेंट कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स को क्या कर लेता है, एक्वायर कर लेता है ड्यूरिंग द गैमेट फॉर्मेशन। सो ये कौन सा हो जाएगा, तीसरा लॉ हो जाएगा। सो लॉ ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंट असॉर्टमेंट सेज दैट द ट्रेड्स कैन सेग्रेट independently of different characteristics during gamete formation. So these are the three laws of, right, these are the three laws provided by the Mendel, right, and this therefore Mendel is known as father of genetics. So you have to simply remember Gregor John Mendel is known as father of genetics, right, and who belonged to Australia, right, and he worked on pea plant, right. He provided three basic laws of inheritance, right, related to heredity. The first is law of dominance, then second law of segregation, and third is law of independent assortment. And from this topic simple question would be asked, right, who is the father of genetics? So Gregor John Mendel, right. Gregor John Mendel worked on which plant? So pea plant. And who provided the law of dominance? So Gregor John Mendel provided the law of dominance, right. Now we will study evolution. What is evolution? See, evolution is a tangible change in the heritable characteristics of a population over several generations. अब अगर हम यहाँ पर देखें तो सबसे पहली चीज तो ये है कि जो एवोल्यूशन है, राइट, जो जितने भी ऑर्गेनिजम्स हैं उनमें एवोल्यूशन जो है सेवरल जनरेशंस के बाद में होता है, विच मीन्स एवोल्यूशन टेक्स द टाइम, राइट. सेकेंड, ये कैसा होता है, टेंजिबल चेंज होता है. टेंजिबल चेंज का मतलब ये जिसको हम देख सकते हैं और जिसको समझ सकते हैं, राइट. तो टेंजिबल चेंज which can be seen or which can be understood in heritable characteristics. तो जो जितने भी heritable characteristics हैं, which means those characteristics which are transferred from one generation to second generation, right, उन characteristics में tangible change होते हैं after several generation, and these changes give rise to a new species or, right. तो ये एक न्यू स्पीसीज को ही क्या करते हैं, जन्म देते हैं. जैसे मैंने कहा कि ये एक क्या हो जाएगा, एंसेस्टर हो जाएगा. अब एक एंसेस्टर जो है, एक एंसेस्टर के जो हेरिटेबल कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स होते हैं उन हेरिटेबल कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स में थोड़े बहुत क्या होते हैं, चेंजेस आते हैं. और जब ये चेंजेस सेवरल जनरेशंस तक क्या होते हैं, सेवरल जनरेशंस तक जो है कंटिन्यू होते जाते हैं, तो एक न्यू स्पीसीज क्या होती है, फॉर्म हो जाती है, राइट. उसे ही एवोल्यूशन कहते हैं. या फिर द स्पीसीज माइट चेंज देमसेल्व्स टू बिकम बेटर अडॉप्टेड टू द सराउंडिंग एनवायरनमेंट, एंड दिस प्रोसेस इज नोन एज एवोल्यूशन, राइट. So simply we can say that what is evolution? Evolution is a tangible change, right? Evolution is a tangible change in the heritable characteristics of a population over several generations, right? So this is the definition of evolution. Evolution is a tangible change in the inheritable characteristics of a population over several generations, and these changes can give rise to a new species, or the species might change themselves to become better adapted to the surrounding environment, right. And in this way we would understand the origin of life on the earth, right. How the life began in the earth, right. It was provided by the Haldane's theory, right. So Haldane provided a theory, and Haldane provided a theory, right, and he asserted that the life originated from organic and lifeless matter, right. So Haldane ने अपनी थ्योरी में बताया कि अर्थ में जो ऑर्गेनिक एंड लाइफलेस मैटर है उससे ही लाइफ क्या हुई है, इवॉल्व हुई है, राइट. एंड हिज थ्योरी प्रूव्ड टू बी करेक्ट बाय Urey and Miller's experiment, right, and this theory was known as abiogenesis, right. So abiogenesis is the theory, right, which is related to how the life originated in the earth, right. So the यहाँ से अब जो फैक्चुअल इंफॉर्मेशन है वो आप याद रखना. द एवियोजेनेसिस, राइट, द अबायोजेनेसिस थ्योरी इज रिलेटेड विद ओरिजिन ऑफ लाइफ, राइट, which was propounded by Haldane, right? But was proved to be correct by Urey and Miller's experiment, right? So simply we can say that origin of life theory was propounded by Haldane's theory, and Haldane was a British scientist who theorized that life originated from organic and lifeless matter, and his theory was proved to be correct by Urey and Miller's experiment. This theory was known as abiogenesis, right? Now we will talk about Charles Darwin, and this is the most important, right? Sometimes you confuse with the Mendel and Charles Darwin, right? Gregor John Mendel is the father of genetics, whereas Charles Darwin is the father of evolution, right? So Charles Darwin, right? So let's study the Charles Darwin, who is the father of evolution, and we have to study some important facts regarding Charles Darwin, right? So Charles Darwin, also known as father of evolution, was an English naturalist and biologist, right? Charles Darwin studied plants as well as animals, right, for more than 5 years, right? And Charles Darwin wrote a book on what he observed on the, right, Galapagos Island, right? एंड ये कई बार एग्जाम में पूछा गया है कि चार्ल्स डार्विन ने अपनी बुक को किस आइसलैंड पर लिखा था. सो चार्ल्स डार्विन रोट अ बुक right on Galapagos Island after successful expedition to HMS Beagle, right, and this is the name of his ship, right. So with the help of HMS Beagle, right, he reached the Galapagos Island. Over there he studied, he observed, and he wrote the book The Origin of Species, right, and he wrote a detailed theory of evolution which was mostly based on the natural selection, right. So you have to remember the 5 things. Father of evolution, Charles Darwin. Charles Darwin, what was the name of his ship, right, HMS Beagle, right. चार्ल्स डार्विन ने किस आइसलैंड पर बुक लिखी, तो वो हो जाएगी यहाँ पर गैलापागोस आइसलैंड, राइट. एंड व्हाट इज द नेम ऑफ the Charles Darwin's books, the origin of the species, right. So Charles Darwin is also known as father of evolution. He was English naturalist or biologist. Charles Darwin, with the help of HMS Beagle, reached Galapagos Island. Over there he observed different plants and species, and he wrote the book The Origin of Species, right, and he wrote a detailed theory of evolution, right, on the basis of natural selection, right. Now we will study the theory of natural selection, which is the most important for evolution. So let's study the theory of natural selection. See, according to Darwin, right, according to Darwin, population could evolve or undergo descent with modification in such a way that they become better suited to their environment over the time. This is the crux of this theory, right. So according to Darwin, population could evolve, right, population could evolve in such a way that they become better suited to their environment over the time. और किसी भी, राइट, किसी भी ऑर्गेनिज्म की जो पॉपुलेशन होती है, किसी भी ऑर्गेनिज्म की जो स्पेसीज होती है, उसमें आफ्टर जनरेशंस कुछ क्या होते हैं, चेंजेस होते हैं, और वो चेंजेस उसको एनवायरनमेंट के लिए सूटेबल बनाते हैं. और यदि वह स्पेसीज एनवायरनमेंट के लिए सूटेबल हो जाती है तो वह सर्वाइव कर पाती है, अदरवाइज वह जो स्पेसीज है वो एक्सटिंक्ट हो जाती है. फॉर एन एग्जांपल लाइन, right, now this time ecological damage is going on, right, pollution, because of the disturbance created by human, right, and because of the loss of habitat, right, many species in the world are decreasing, right, or many species have become extinct, right. तो यही थ्योरी है कि Darwin told that population could evolve, right, in such a way that they become better suited to their environment over time. And Darwin's concept of natural selection was based on several key observations. The first is traits are often heritable. तो जो characteristics होते हैं वो heritable होते हैं. So traits are often heritable, and in living organism many characteristics are inherited or passed from parents to offspring. More offspring are produced than can survive. Right, this is the most important. तो किसी भी species के द्वारा जो offsprings हैं वो ज़्यादा मात्रा में प्रोड्यूस किए जाते हैं जितने की सर्वाइव कर सकते हैं. सो मोर ऑफस्प्रिंग्स आर प्रोड्यूस्ड देन कैन सर्वाइव, एंड ऑर्गेनिजम्स आर केपेबल ऑफ प्रोड्यूसिंग more offspring than their environment can support. Thus, there is a competition for limited resources in each generation. इसीलिए किसी भी हैबिटेट में कोई भी स्पेसीज, राइट, सिंपली हर एक जो स्पेसीज है, right, हर एक species, right, every species produces more offspring than their environment can support. Therefore, there is a competition for limited resources in each generation. Offspring vary in their heritable traits. The offspring in any generation will be slightly different from one another, right, from one another in their traits, and many of these features will be heritable. राइट, अब जब कंपटीशन होगा तो इस कंपटीशन में जो स्पेसीज अपने आप को इवॉल्व कर लेगी, मॉडिफाई कर लेगी, वो सरवाइव कर पाएगी, और द स्पेसीज विच कैन नॉट इवॉल्व, तो वो क्या हो जाएगी, एक्सटिंक्ट हो जाएगी. ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ दीज ऑब्जर्वेशंस डार्विन कंक्लूडेड दैट द फर्स्ट इज in a population some individuals will have inherited traits that help them survive and reproduce, right, given the condition of the environment, such as the predators as well as food source present in that environment, right. The individuals with the help, right, the individuals with the helpful traits will leave more offspring in the next generation than their peers, since the traits, right, the traits make them more efficient in surviving and reproducing. Clear? Because of the helpful traits, right, because the helpful traits are heritable, and because organisms with these traits leave more offspring, the traits will tend to become more common, right, or we can say that present in large fraction of the population in the next generation. Over the generation, the population will become adapted to its environment, right, as individuals with traits helpful in that environment have consistently greater reproductive success than their peers, right. और in this way जब किसी भी species में, right, तो सीधी सी बात है कि जब किसी भी species में जो है, जब कोई भी species क्या हो जाएगी, evolve हो जाएगी, right, तो वह उस इन्वायरमेंट में क्या कर पाएगी, सरवाइव कर पाएगी, और यदि वह इवॉल्व नहीं होगी तो वह क्या हो जाएगी, एक्सटिंक्ट हो जाएगी, एंड दिस इज नोन एज नेचुरल सिलेक्शन, राइट. नाउ वी विल स्टडी व्हाट आर द इवोल्यूशनरी एविडेंसेस, राइट. कुछ साइंटिस्ट ने right, some scientists did not accepted the theory of evolution provided by Charles Darwin, right. Therefore it is provided that कि जो evolution है उसके कई evidence भी हैं, और वो evidence क्या है, fossils हैं, right. हमारे अर्थ पर कई ancestors के जो fossils हैं, right, वो बताते हैं कि अर्थ पर evolution हुआ है, right. So evolutionary evidence are the fossils. इसमें अगर हम देखें तो fossils are the preserved remains of ancient animals or plants that died millions of years, and the fossils helps us to understand the anatomy and even physiology of these organs and understand how evolution worked, right. तो जो fossils हैं उनसे हम जो हमारे ancestors हैं, किसी भी organism के ancestor के anatomy को या physiology को understand कर सकते हैं, और we can understand how the evolution worked and led to the formation of organism that we see today. तो जो एट प्रेजेंट वर्ल्ड में जो भी ऑर्गेनिजम्स हैं उनका एवोल्यूशन कैसा हुआ है वो हम फॉसिल्स से समझ सकते हैं. ऑर्गेनिजम्स डाई एंड गेट बरीड इन मड एंड सिल्ट, राइट, एंड लेटर कन्वर्टेड इनटू फॉसिल्स, और उन फॉसिल से ही जो है हम एवोल्यूशन को समझ सकते हैं. राइट, नाउ एवोल्यूशनरी रिलेशनशिप, राइट, सो एवोल्यूशनरी relationship of animals can be deduced by studying the homologous organs and analogous organ. राइट, कुल मिलाकर ये है कि एवोल्यूशन कैसे हुआ है उसको हम जो है दो फैक्ट से भी समझ सकते हैं. सो एवोल्यूशनरी रिलेशनशिप्स ऑफ एनिमल्स कैन बी डिड्यूस्ड बाय स्टडिंग द homologous and analogous organ, and these organs have been studied by us in the previous lecture. What are the homologous organs? See, those organs which have similar structure, or we can say that those organs which have similar anatomy but have different function, right? So those organs which have a similar structure or similar anatomy but उनमें different function होते हैं उनको ही homologous organ कहते हैं. For an example, wings of birds, right? So wings of birds and forelimbs of mammals, right? तो जो mammals हैं या हम कह सकते हैं human hand, तो forelimbs of mammals and wings of bird, right? इनका स्ट्रक्चर क्या होता है? सिमिलर होता है, राइट, बट इनके फंक्शंस क्या होते हैं? डिफरेंट होते हैं, राइट. तो विंग्स ऑफ बर्ड एंड forelimbs of mammals have similar structure or similar anatomy but are modified to suit different functions. For an example, forelimb of human and mammals, right, are used to jump, right, jump, put the things. और वहीं जो वर्ड्स के विंग्स हैं, राइट, दे आर यूज्ड टू फ्लाई. देन analogous organs, so those organs which have a similar function but a different structure or anatomy and origin, right, so those organs which have a similar function but a different structure and origin, right, उनको ही analogous organ कहा जाता है. For an example, wings of birds, right, birds and wings of insects, right. तो जो insects हैं उनके जो wings हैं और wings of birds और wings of birds, right, ये सभी, right, both are used for flying, but इन सब का जो structure है वो क्या होता है? different होता है, और इससे हम समझ सकते हैं कि evolution हुआ है. Now evolution by stage. See, evolution is a slow process and does not happen overnight, right? So evolution is a slow process and does not happen overnight, right? There are several stages in evolution of almost every animal, right? The first is complexities. See, complexities do not evolve suddenly, right? Complexities in animals, right? जैसे जो भी ऑर्गेनिजम्स हैं उनमें कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी ऐसे ही नहीं होती. तो कॉम्प्लेक्सिटीज डू नॉट इवॉल्व सडनली बट इवॉल्व बिट बाय बिट एंड मैनी हैव लिमिटेड यूज एट सर्टेन स्टेज. दिस ग्रेजुअल evolutionary process is known as evolution by stages, right? तो कुछ organisms में complexities क्या होती हैं? अकर होती हैं but over the period of time or evolve bit by bit and many have limited use at certain times. तो उसको ही कहते हैं evolution by stages, right? Sometimes a single species can evolve into several different species due to artificial selection, right? तो एक जो single species है वो artificial selection की वजह से कई species में convert हो जाती है. For an example, a single ancestor in the cabbage family, right, gave rise to several different species due to the selection of different traits, right? Now molecular phylogenecy. What is molecular phylogenecy? See, the evolutionary relationship among the different biological species is known as phylogenies, right? Phylogeny, and this can be asked as a MCQs, right? तो अगर पूछा जाए द एवोल्यूशनरी रिलेशनशिप अमंग डिफरेंट बायोलॉजिकल स्पेसीज इज नोन एज, तो उसको क्या कहते हैं? मॉलिक्यूलर फिलोजेनी. सो द एवोल्यूशनरी रिलेशनशिप अमंग डिफरेंट biological species is known as phylogeny and it gives rise to an evolutionary tree, right? In molecular phylogeny, these relationships are studied at the hereditary molecular level, right? And mainly using DNA sequences. It involves the analysis of DNA composition and gene comparison between different species, right? तो जो molecular फिलोजेनी होता है उसमें डीएनए को कंपेयर किया जाता है, राइट? जीन को कंपैरिजन किया जाता है डिफरेंट स्पेसीज में, जिससे हमको पता चलता है मॉलिक्यूलर फिलोजेनी के बारे में. नाउ लेट्स स्टडी द ह्यूमन इवोल्यूशन, राइट? तो जो मॉलिक्यूलर फिलोजेनी है उसके माध्यम से हम जो है वर्ल्ड में जो डिफरेंट जो ह्यूमन स्पेसीज हैं उनमें भी हम अंतर समझ सकते हैं, right? Now let's study the human evolution. See, humans belong to primate family और इवोल्यूशन की वजह से ही वर्तमान समय में जो होमोसेपियंस हैं, राइट, वो हमको देखने को मिलते हैं. ये कैसे हुआ है इसको समझते हैं. See, humans are known to belong to the primate family, right? Primate family, and humans today have a very close genetic connection to the chimps and other primates. तो जो अदर प्राइमेट्स हैं या जो चिंपैंजीज हैं, राइट, उनसे क्लोज क्या है जेनेटिक कनेक्शन मिलता है. ये हम कह सकते हैं कि जो प्राइवेट फैमिली है, राइट, ह्यूमंस आर नोन टू बिलोंग टू द प्राइमेट फैमिली. इसलिए प्राइमेट फैमिली में जो भी मेंबर्स हैं उनसे ह्यूमन के वेरी क्लोज जेनेटिक कनेक्शंस जो हैं मिलते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल, ह्यूमंस हैव वेरी क्लोज जेनेटिक कनेक्शन टू चिंपैंजीज एंड अदर प्राइमेट्स. While the complete evolutionary process of humans from primates is still a mystery, right? जैसे कई बार सुना होगा कि कुछ जो साइंटिस्ट हैं वो मानते हैं कि जो चिंपैंजीज हैं, राइट, उनसे ही बाद में जाकर ह्यूमन क्या हुए, इवॉल्व हुए. तो कुछ मानते हैं इस थ्योरी को प्रॉपर नहीं मानते हैं. Therefore, the complete evolutionary process of humans from primate is still a mystery. A large picture of human evolution has been formed. एक large picture के तौर पर ही हमको पता है. Some of the ancestors of humans, right? So some of the ancestors of humans include, right, Diropithecus, right? So Diropithecus, after that Ramapithecus. So Ramapithecus, then Australopithecus, right? Homo erectus, Homo sapiens, right? Neanderthalensis. So Homo sapiens, Neanderthalensis, right? Cro-Magnon man, right? Then Homo sapiens. ह्यूमन इवोल्यूशन ट्रेसेस बैक टू अफ्रीका, और ह्यूमन का इवोल्यूशन कहाँ हुआ है, अफ्रीका में हुआ है. देन दे माइग्रेटेड ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड, और वर्तमान में जो ह्यूमन है वो क्या है, होमो सेपियंस है, राइट. So in this way we have studied the heredity as well as evolution, right, and we have studied the biology in depth, right. Now we will meet in next lecture. Till then, thank you.